Hi, this is Farrell. Welcome back to Robot Todd, issue 3, page 17. So we only got 3 pages left of the issue. I'm doing 20-page issues here. And these first couple pictures are from last week, or a little over a week ago is when I started this page. And I was kind of held up with getting it done because I was doing these, trying to figure out who I wanted as like the villain for the next few issues. The design for the character, who's going to be this person called the specialist, and it's going to be the main villain at the end of the last issue, which is issue 5 of the first arc. There's going to be at least 15 issues I have planned. So these are all the different ideas for villains, and that one was probably the worst one. And I actually ended up going with the thing that I sketched first, my idea first, which was sort of like that character from The Ring or Ringu, just sort of like a person in like, that's the one there. Rags with sort of, instead of like hair kind of coming down in front of her face, it's like rags and, what the idea was, like old tattered robes or something. I didn't really have like, I know what I wanted this person to have like some kind of supernatural abilities to like possess other people, like some other people like can't possess Robot Todd or Sept, but like, other like weird creatures it's gonna try to like control to antagonize our heroes. Yeah, that took me a while just figuring out like how I wanted that person to look, and then drawing these like little dungeon things. That didn't take me too long as far as like designing them. I was looking at some reference and stuff, and I couldn't find anything I liked, so I just ended up kind of making it up. I went down and looked downstairs to my basement, like looked at the house that I live in. I don't own the house or anything, but just to kind of look at that, and then I ended up taking a picture of it, but then I ended up not even looking at the picture. I just kind of winged it, I guess, with the sketch, and then the finish. I'm gonna add some like kind of cool details, and then I just ended up kind of making it up. So here I'm inking. You can see I've added these little title things at the bottom of I just figured out how to do that with the with the iMovie. Like, oh, you can add text. So. Yeah, I'm inking with a brush. This one kind of like half inked, and you can even see that I started to add some color, a little bit of color there in the first panel. And I was kind of just started with that first panel. Normally I work the whole page, but I wanted to solidify the idea that I had in my head of the first panel, and I felt like this page with some of the preceding pages I've mentioned this too, where it's like there's this stage here at this point where I really like the drawing and I like the design, and then once I start adding more and more color, it's trying to find that balance again. Like, how do I get it to that point where I really liked it again without it? I don't want to overwork it, and I'm afraid like I overworked the paints a little bit much with the end, but yeah, and it took me several nights of doing this. I wanted to have this done in a couple of days, but I've been doing these sketches for September too during the day, and I'm also working on this other project, so I'm kind of overwhelmed right now. I'm a little trying not to get stressed out about all the stuff I have to do. So I think what I'm going to do is take a break from not working on these Robot Todd pages, but I had planned to do a daily comic of issue 0 of Robot Todd, because that was the plan. It's like once I get issue 3 down, I'm gonna do an issue 0 where I explain everything and then release that, and then have that be kind of like a promo for when I start putting out the issues of Robot Todd. But I have so much other stuff I have to do. I want to get all the September stuff mailed out, and I want to finish this children's book that I'm working on first. But I still want to keep working on these pages too in the evenings, and do one a week for the Patreon and stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna push back the issue 0 until I'm done with the series. I realize that I need to not start a new thing and just keep focusing on the things that I have on my plate. And yeah, so here I'm lettering. I'm pretty much done with the coloring part of the page. This was my last session, and I just decided to letter it. And you can see on that little page that I have on my underneath my palm to keep it from smearing and stuff, that I actually write some of the lettering on that too, just because I wrote them up there too. Some of the words, if I mess up, because I'm doing all this by hand, it's like analog. When I mess up, and I will mess up a lot, I do, pretty much every page I'd mess up. Right, you can see me erasing. Someone mentioned that they never see me erasing, but there you go. The top two panels at this point, I feel like they're done, but I kept kind of noodling at them just because they were there in front of me. The bottom two panels, I liked the way the wizard coat looked white like that. I probably should have left it white, but in all the other drawings, it's a yellow jacket. So just for consistency's sake, I colored it, and it looked fine colored. I mean, the finish is fine, I think, but there was something nice about just that white coat there on the page that I liked a lot. But yeah, I'm just filling in the little, the wizard looks at all these little bubbles, these little spheres, and has like his eyes out everywhere all throughout the world, and can kind of, or at least the near area, the country that the wizard lives in. It kind of keeps its eye on all these different things that interest. And I wanted it to sort of be like a metaphor or something for like watching screens, like watching television, the way like I personally am, and a lot of people are. It seems like kind of obsessed with watching screens. So this wizard, that's sort of like his thing, I guess, or big cross to bear, or whatever you call it, fault or character deficiency or something, is that seems to be obsessed with these screens. And I even wanted to put a line in there with those little creatures saying like, "Remember when the boss used to make stuff?" But I haven't actually inserted that in there yet. There's the finished page after the lettering got cleaned up and everything. Page 17, all done. And this is my September book. I got them back from the printer, and I thought it'd be fun to put in a little, to show you how I do these little drawings. So that was the first sketch that I did there, or one of the first sketches there. And I'm mostly doing September in these books. And the inside front cover, there's just an empty panel that I left specifically just for people that ordered the book through the crowdfunder. I think this is the first 60 that I've done, so I tried to keep them kind of short. But it's, you can tell it's just variations on a theme. And I'm doing something a little different. Normally, when I do a sketch in a book, I just do a pen drawing without penciling it first. So I normally just do a freehand drawing and try to do it as fast as I can. But these ones, I decided I'd feel a little better about it if I just kind of loosely penciled them first. So that's what I've been doing. I just kind of try to do like 5-minute pencil job, and then go in, 5 or 10 minutes on the inks. And some of them took me a little longer than 15 minutes, but I'd like ideally just to have them do 10 minutes each. And that way I can get them done in, under 2 hours. Here you can see that I have this little frame that I put over the books to keep my hand from smudging it or crinkling it. I try to do 10 a day too, but I haven't, not every day I've done them. So I've done 6 days, I've done 10. And then I think it's been maybe like 10 days since I've gotten the book. Though there's a few days where I just kind of had to work on other stuff and wasn't able to do this. They take me a better part of the early morning, daytime to do these. I'm trying to get it faster. I'm almost halfway done with all the orders. I think I got like 120 orders on the crowdfunder. These are actually going to be distributed to comic book stores too. They have a UPC code on the back, and Floating World Comics is distroing them. So they'll be available for purchase in a comic store, but you won't get a drawing in them if you get it from the comic shop, unless you bring it to me personally at like a show. I go to the Boise Comic Arts Fest every year, pretty much, and I'll go this year. So hit me up there. I don't have any other shows planned this year other than that. So ask your local comic store or whoever organizes the local comic book shows or art shows or whatever. Ask me out to it, and I could sign in your books too. And if you're local to Oregon, Portland area, I'm going to be doing a release party for this book. Once it's actually in stores, I think like in May or something like that. So hit me up then and I'll draw on it for you. If you're curious about my other books, here they are. And you can pick most of those up at your local comic shop. I have a Patreon too, where you can read all these Robot Todd pages, and it's the best way to show support. Thanks for watching. Bye.